Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Shelby. Thanks so much for being here and clicking on today's video. This one is actually a very exciting one for me because we are going to be talking about the books that I would love to get to and hopefully finish before the end of the year. And quite frankly, it's crunch time. There is not a lot of time left in the year. We are rapidly approaching Thanksgiving, so I need to get through these books. But I want to share them with you guys, and if you have any books that are on my list that you are also hoping to read, let me know in the comments down below. But if there's also any books that are on my list that you have read, let me know what your thoughts were in the comments. I would love to hear it, but let's go ahead and get into the video. Also, bear with me because I am sick for the second time this fall winter season. It's not really winter yet, but you know, it's the time of the year where people are getting sick quite often, and I got hit back to back, which is not a fun time. If you've ever experienced that, you will know it just doesn't feel good. You have this brief moment of feeling like a normal human again, and then you bam, you're sick again. I did not anticipate that, but it's okay. I've got my cup of tea here. I highly recommend getting yourself some elderberry tea. This one is actually a green tea, elderberry tea, and it is super delicious and yummy. I just put a little splash of honey in there. And I've got my little Christmas mug. Got my little Christmas mug here. I was gonna wait, but it's almost Thanksgiving, so I felt like it was okay for me to crack it or take it out of the cabinet and use it. This is my first time using it, so I'm very excited. All right, so this was going to be kind of my version of 10 before the end. And when I was trying to compile a list of the books that I wanted to read, I found very quickly that I had a hard time choosing and narrowing it down to 10. So I've got a plethora of books that I would like to talk about. Is it realistic that I'm going to get to all of these books before the end of the year? Probably not, based off of how my reading has been of late, but I'm hoping to pick things up. So let's get into the list, shall we? The first book that is on my list is Brimstone, and this is the second book. I forget what the series is called, guys, but this is the second book, so the book right after Quicksilver. And it's been a few months since I read Quicksilver, but I actually was pleasantly surprised. I didn't have a lot of faith in it, I have to be honest, but I did actually really enjoy it. So I'm excited to get back into the series, although I will say I did get the audiobook when it first came out, and I started it and I got to about chapter 7 and then I put it down just because I don't know. I know it's kind of like a romantasy, but I kind of wish that there was a balance. Like, if we're going to have romance in it, that's okay, but I don't want that to be the main focal point, especially if it's a fantasy book. And there's so much bigger things happening in this series that I want us to explore, and it's like I'm on chapter 7 and we're already hitting some spice, and I'm just kind of like, ugh. But it's okay. I do remember really enjoying Quicksilver, so I have high hopes that I'm going to enjoy this one. Like I said, I've already started the audiobook, but that was like a week ago, so I haven't picked it back up yet. So yeah, that will be hopefully the first book when I get done, but we'll see. Bunny, I have made the decision that I am actually going to go ahead and pick up Bunny. From my understanding, Bunny is kind of like a horror, fever dream type of psychological book, where it basically follows our main character, which I don't remember what the main character's name is, Samantha. And Samantha is going for her MFA, and she is basically in this class where there's these group of girls, and they call themselves Bunny, or Bunnies. And it's this really weird, like, it's just a really weird type of situation with these group of girls, from what I understand. And so I have been a little bit apprehensive to pick up this book. I picked up the book honestly solely because of the cover. I had a TikTok that I did not that long ago where I asked people, are you like me and do you buy books because the cover is really pretty? I do that like most of the time. I think that's the first impression of a book, but I didn't actually know anything about it. So yeah, we're gonna see how this one goes, but I need to get it off of my shelf as in like the books I have not read yet, which you can see. This is the current version. There will be an updated version of this shelf soon enough once things in my home start getting calm again. The next book that I have on my list, and I can't remember a whole lot about the entire premise of the book, but this was actually one of the books that I was talking about either at the end of the year last year or the beginning of the year, where I kind of talked about some books that I was hoping to read or really excited for the new year. And this is, I don't want to mess up the name, so I'm gonna read it off of my MacBook, but it is Jane and Dan at the End of the World. And this one just sounded really interesting. From what I remember, it's basically this married couple, and I think they're kind of on the outs, and they end up going to a restaurant to eat dinner, and there's some kind of like a radical stuff that is happening, and yeah, they are kind of trapped in this restaurant. I think that is what this one is about. I can't remember for sure, but I really want to get to this book, and every time I see the cover, which you guys can see here, I just think it looks like it would be a really fun, interesting read. And I was really trying to branch out this year to find newer authors and also finding different types of genres of books, and I think that I have kind of successfully done that in a sense. I've definitely branched out and read books I never thought I would read, or gravitated to authors that I didn't know I would even enjoy, or even genres that I never thought I would be an historical fiction lover, and I love historical fiction so much. Thank you, Kristen Hanna, very much for that. That was my entry into historical fiction, and I realized very fast that those are the types of books that I need in my life because it gives me so much. So the next one I would like to get to, and so okay, here's my thought on this next book. It is Daisy Haites and the Great Undoing. Now, I began my my Magnolia Parks series journey at the beginning of the year, and that was one of my favorite books at the beginning of the year because it pulled me out of what felt like a reading slump, and I was quite concerned for a little while that I was never going to meet my reading goal for the year, which was 75 books, 70 books, I don't know. I just know that I've accomplished that thus far. But that one really pulled me out of my reading slump. Now, here's my thing, right? There's been a lot of drama, a lot of problematic situations with the author, Justice Hastings. So it makes me not really want to continue the series, but I did start it and I would like to finish it. So I think what I'm going to end up actually doing is seeing if I can just get the audiobooks or the ebooks from the library apps that I have so that I don't have to buy them, and go from there. But I can't deny that I did really enjoy the Magnolia Parks books, and I would like to finish the series. So that is another book that I'd like to get to. I had to take a break though because it is quite toxic and problematic, and yeah, the ending of the last book I had read in this series really shook me, and I was like, I'm not sure I'm prepared to go into the next one. So that was where I kind of left it, but I think I do want to go ahead and pick it back up just so I can start to get back into the series and finish it up. And I noticed something about myself this year. I picked up a lot of series and I've not finished any of those series, so I need to start dwindling down because I also have a new series that I want to start here, and you're gonna find out what it is in a second. The next book is the newest Holly Jackson book, I should say, and I'm very, very excited for this one. It is called Not Quite Dead Yet. I believe this is her first like adult fiction book. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only ones I really know of her are the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, Reappearance of Rachel Price, and Five Survive. So those are all young adult. But this one has a really interesting premise where the main character is essentially trying to solve her own murder before she actually dies. So that sounded really interesting, and I would love to give that book a try before the year's over, because it's been out for a little while now and I definitely have sat on it far too long. I would also, so this book has been on my radar for quite some time, but I'd also really like to pick up Margos Got Money Problems. This one I think is more of like a literary fiction, but it follows a young woman. I believe her name is going to be Margot, but I think she ends up, does she end up having an affair with her professor or something like that? And she ends up, you know, falling pregnant, and she doesn't have money to support having a child, so she turns to like OnlyFans or something like that to make ends meet. It just sounds like so, it shouldn't even sound that wild because that is something that is obviously very real and prevalent today, but it just sounds very interesting as a story. So I would like to get into that book and see what that one is all about. The series that I would like to get to and start this year, it's a very, I think, well-known series, but that is going to be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And this is by Douglas Adams. I don't know much about this book at all. I do believe it is a like sci-fi type of book because it sounds like it takes place in space. But this is actually Anthony's. He picked the entire series up, and they look very easy to read. They're small. Like, this book is 216 pages. Surely if I give myself enough time, I could read this in a day. So I would love to get this one done as well. It just feels like a book that is calling me. I see it all the time on our bookshelves and I'm always like, this looks like it would be good and fun to read. And I hear it's really funny, so I would like to kind of see what that's all about. Then I have a thriller book that I have been wanting to read. It's been on my radar for a long time now at this point. And I think I had started it. I think I had started listening to the sample of the audiobook, and then I just never actually picked it up. But this is going to be We Used to Live Here. And this book just seems like it would be a good time, and I'm really looking for like a really good thriller book. I've read a couple of thrillers this year. Some were good, but some were very meh, and there was no real surprise factor because a lot of the things were very like guessable. I don't know. So I think it's very hard nowadays to find a really good thriller. So I would like to see what that one is about. I heard it is kind of creepy and scary, so maybe it's also leaning more towards horror. I'm not really sure. I think there's some supernatural stuff that's going on, but the cover is also really pretty to me. So that is a big factor as to why I also want to read it. Unfortunately, I just really am a sucker for a good cover. Put a good cover on your book and I will want to read it. All right. The next book I have on my list is one of my book of the month picks. The next book I have is my book of the month pick from last month. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was October, but this is Violet Thistlewaite is not a villain anymore. And I'm not sure how to pronounce the author's last name, but it is Emily I don't know how to pronounce the author's last name. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna put it on the screen. But this one just looked really cute. Again, sucker for a good cover. The only thing is, normally when the covers are very animated like this, I don't always tend to love the books, and you would think that I would learn that by now because I'm very aware of it, but cover seems to always win. But it sounded interesting. This one definitely gave me vibes and energy of, what's that book called? Assistant to the Villain. Except this time, Violet, the female main character, is actually the villain, and she decides she just doesn't want to be a villain anymore. So she wants to live a quiet, quaint life. And it just sounds really fun and magical, so I would love to get to this. And there are so many books that I just want to read next that I just am having a hard time deciding. So maybe what we'll do next, I'll do a video maybe where like we make like a jar or something. Maybe I wrap the, I don't know, but I need to have some way of deciding what books I am going to read. I think I'll have to do a jar, because how will I do the, I'm brainstorming. Let's continue on. The next book that I have that I would like to, sorry, my dad has just texted me. But the next book that I would like to get to is a continuation of a series that I began at the beginning of the year as well. And this is going to be Haunting Prince Dracula. And this is by Carrie Maniscalco. She wrote the Kingdom of the Wicked series and of course Stalking Jack the Ripper. But yeah, I would like to get to this book. I actually read Stalking Jack the Ripper. I remember this vividly because it was a snow day. It was snowing like crazy outside, and I ended up getting to stay home because work was like, we're not gonna bother to open. So I ended up staying home and reading the entire book in a day. I don't recommend that. I really don't recommend that, because these books are quite hefty. This one actually is much bigger than Stalking Jack the Ripper. This one was your average book length. I would say this one, 325 was the page length for Stalking Jack the Ripper. This one is really big. How much is this one? Let's see. I don't know if that has anything to do with the book. Okay, maybe. This one is 436 pages, so that's gonna take me some time to get through. But we're gonna do it. We are going to do it. I don't really know what this one is about. I just know that I believe it's following our same main characters. It doesn't even give me like a synopsis at all, so I don't have anything to reference to. But I believe we're still following our female main character, which I can't remember her name at this point. And then there's a male main character who I believe is going to be the love interest. And I'm assuming that now she's on the hunt for Prince Dracula. So Dracula's vampires, hence the stake in her hand. But yeah, I'm excited to see what that one is about. All right, the last books that I have go together, hand in hand. Again, trying to complete some series here. We're quite close to completing this series, but this particular reading experience has been very daunting to me, and I've been wanting and ready to pick it up since, I have been wanting to continue it since June, but I got really terrified by it. That is tandem reading Emperor of Storms and Tower of Dawn. And this is by Sarah J. Maas, and I don't know, I'm just terrified. Simply put, I am a little bit overwhelmed by the fact that these books are so thick. Like, if we just morphed these together, just smushed them together, made one big book, that is that's a hefty sandwich. That's crazy. So that is what I do want to do. Now that is what I do. That's what I would like to do. Now I have a manager at work who is also a big reader, and we actually have very similar like reading tastes. We read a lot of the same books, and thanks to her, we are starting a book club at work. So I'm very excited. More to come on that. I'll love to share my experience with that for you guys. But she recently did the tandem read, and she said she did the audiobook and it was a really pleasant experience. So I think what I will probably do is do the same. But if I want to kind of, you know, physically read along with the audiobook, then I will have that ability. But I think just holding these books in my hands and then having to switch between the two just sounds really scary and daunting to me. So that's the plan with that. And those are all the books that I'm hoping to get to by the end of the year. How many books is that? We've got, let's see, let's do a quick count here. Quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 books? It's a lot of books. Am I going to get to them all? I do not really know. Will I hope to strive to achieve this goal? Absolutely. My reading experience thus far has not been the best. I have definitely struggled the last like 2.5 months to really pick up books and read at the pace that I was doing. Now, if somehow this month and the next month I can read at the same pace, 100% can do this, because I was averaging about 10-11 books a month, which is really intense and kind of crazy when I think about it. Now if I can get back to a similar pace, could I finish all of them? Yes, but some of these are also quite big, so we'll see. But if I can bang things out like Hitchhiker's Guide, Bunny, things like that, the audiobooks, I think we can get through it. All right, that is all that I have for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, let me know if there are any books that are on my list that you also have on your list, or if there are any books that you have read. Let me know what your thoughts were on the books down below. But I will catch you guys in the next video, and I think I'm going to have to do some kind of like jar where I write down the books, because otherwise I'm also a mood reader, so that's really hard for me. But that's why I need to be strategic about it, because I'll never meet this goal. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.